my gosh. I tell myself every time I'm not gonna do a thumbnail like that, but I keep doing it. What's up, guys? So before I get into today's video, I just want to let you know that my 1-year BookTube anniversary is coming up on July 8th, and I'm going to have a video celebrating that. I'll be talking about what got me into BookTube, why I got into BookTube, stuff like that. But you can leave a question in the comments and I will answer it in that video, because I don't feel like answering questions in the comments. You can't really get your point across as much just through words. So if you want to leave a question down below, then I will also answer that in the video. So just wanted to get that out of the way. But I finally have a book haul that I've been needing to do for forever now. Books that I got for my birthday, and then books that I've just acquired over time. So let's get into it. So the first book that I have to show you shouldn't really be a surprise to anyone, and that is The Trials of Apollo, The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan. This series follows Apollo in the first person. He's fallen down from Olympus. Zeus is all mad at him and stuff, and now he is in human form as a 16-year-old boy, and he just has to figure out what to do. I have already started this book. I'm not very far into it, but it is really good so far. I haven't been a huge fan of Rick Riordan's last two books, Blood of Olympus and Sword of Summer. I just didn't care for them too much, but this seems like it's going to be really good. We get to see some of the characters from the other series. Yes, that's right, we get to see Percy, and I'm just really excited to carry on and finish this book. You will be getting a review, I promise. Next book that I have to show you is A Quart of Missin by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in her A Court of Thorns and Roses series. It's her new adult kind of fairy tale retelling, though I don't know how much the fairy tale is going to carry on in this book, because it kind of wrapped up with the first book. It was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Don't see how far that can go into this book, but I've heard that this one is a lot better than A Court of Thorns and Roses, and that's surprising because I really enjoyed A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is also a monster of a book, so I'm very excited to get into it. I have a little announcement in the future that I will say about Sarah J. Maas. I may or may not be meeting her. I'm gonna be meeting her. I'm gonna be meeting her in September. Next I have The Last Star by Rick Yancey. This is the third and final book in the Fifth Wave trilogy, which is about aliens and alien invasions, if you didn't already know. Which I would be really surprised if you didn't, because this is an extremely popular trilogy. Now, if you don't know my opinion on the Fifth Wave series so far, I enjoyed the Fifth Wave, and then I enjoyed The Infinite Sea less, but I still enjoyed it. But all in all, I don't really care too much about this series, but I do want to see what happens in this final book. It's pretty short, so sometime I guess I'll just sit down and read it in a couple days, and that'll be fun. Next I have Winger by Andrew Smith. This is a contemporary about this kid who goes to school. He's playing rugby. That's all I really know. That's all I really want to know. This will be the first contemporary that I've ever read, and so I'm really excited to get into it. It just seems all in all really funny, but also very heartwarming, at least from what I've heard. The next book that I have I'm so excited about is Light by Michael Grant. This is the 6th and final book in Michael Grant's Gone series. If you have been following me over the last year on BookTube, you know I have been trying to collect this series for the longest time with the new covers that are only in paperback. If you saw my last book haul, you know my struggle with finding the second book. I have a whole rant that is basically the entire last half of that video. All the adults in the world just disappear, and only leaving the teenagers and elementary school kids and things like that. And then I believe they start to like mutate or something. I don't want to say too much because I know I'm probably wrong. I'm just saying that based off of the synopsis that I've heard. But I've been wanting to read the series for a long time. I've just been putting it off because, you know, it's a 6-book series and that's kind of a big commitment. And so I'm trying to read some other things first, but I also really want to get into this series. The last books that I have are so exciting, but they're also so heavy. So heavy. And it is the entire Harry Potter series in hardcover. I'm gonna go through all of these books, even though I'm sure you already know and have read these books, but I'm gonna go through them anyways. So we have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and finally we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Now I know, if you're new to my channel, you are probably very surprised that I'm a booktuber that hasn't read Harry Potter. So I'm going to give a quick little story of why I haven't really fast. So growing up, I was never allowed to read or watch Harry Potter. I'm pretty sure it's because all my parents ever heard of it was witchcraft. And that's the only thing they ever heard, so they were like, you know what, I don't think we're going to let our kids read that, we'll just skip out, there's plenty of other books that they can read, so Harry Potter, no thanks. But about 2 summers ago, I went to Universal Studios. And at Universal Studios, they have the Harry Potter experience. They have Hogwarts, which is basically like a full-size Hogwarts. They have a mountain that they've built, and then Hogwarts is sitting on top. And when I saw that, I was like, this is really cool. And then they have an entire village down there that just, it's a legit village. And I didn't go to the full Harry Potter experience thing that they have, where you can go to King's Cross and Diagon Alley, and you can go to Gringotts and things like that. I didn't go there, but I did see Hogwarts. I got to ride one of the Harry Potter rides, which is like a 3D experience where you're flying on a broom, and it's the coolest thing ever. So after that, I started to get a little interested in Harry Potter, and I was like, this is a pretty cool thing, and I would like to know more about it. So I started wondering, I was like, what is so bad about Harry Potter? And from the research that I did, and my older brother, who has watched all the movies, and his wife has read the books, he really explained to me, you know, it's not really what mom and dad think. And I was like, oh, okay. So I came to my mom and dad, and I was like, hey, mom, dad, it's not really what you think. And I explained to all of them what it was, and it was just a really confusing thing for them, I guess, to comprehend that, oh, Harry Potter isn't a bad influence on my children. But I did eventually convince them. They were like, okay, whatever. And so I bought the hardcover box set, and I read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Oh my gosh, what have I been missing? I love this book so much. It's one of the fastest I've ever read a book, partly because it's so short, but I just flew through it in like 2 days, and I loved it so much. Just being able to sit down and experience it all in such a short amount of time, it was just so good. I'll explain more in my review that I'm planning to do, but it's so good, and I love it, and I can't wait to carry on with the series. But I will talk about that more in my review. I don't want to say too much here, because then there's no point in me making a review. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my book haul. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought. Please, no spoilers. Also, don't forget to leave a question below if you want it answered in my video on July 8th for my 1-year BookTube anniversary. Thank you all for letting me have so much fun in the year that I've been booktubing. Again, don't want to say too much here. I'll have an entire video about it, and so I'll leave it at that. Don't forget to comment your question, and I will see you guys the next time that I see you. Caw-caw!